Yes, indeed, and this story on the front page of the Daily Nation is also there on the front pages of papers in Tanzania. It is also there on the front page of the Business Daily, and we'll take a look at it. Tanzania jobs ban hits Kenyans hard. Dodoma's move bars foreigners from select businesses, listen to this, in the country that will affect thousands of Kenyans, with the Suluhu regime sanction infuriating local traders and MPs who have asked Nairobi to impose retaliatory measures. But really, will we be able to do it? Kenya has never been fond of protectionist ideas. So, repair of mobile phones and electronic devices, that's one job that as a Kenyan, as a foreigner, you won't be allowed to do in Tanzania. Salon business, unless conducted in a hotel or for tourism purposes. Tour guiding within the country, and now this one I think is the biggest. Can you imagine how many Kenyan drivers take foreigners from Kenya or Napeleka Serengeti from the Masa, especially now with the wildebeest migration kutoka Kenya wakiingia Serengeti. Brokerage or agency in businesses and real estate, ownership and operation of micro and small industries. These are the jobs that cannot, these are the business activities prohibited for non-citizens in Tanzania. If Kenya was to do this, italeta shida sana. Now, critics say Dodoma's policy runs counter to provisions of the East African Community Treaty. Ni kama EAC treaty ni kama siku hizi imekuwa tu ni karatasi. Well, interesting. At least a positive story on the front page of the Daily Nation. Mother and son reunited after 14 years. Emotional return for man's spared execution in Saudi Arabia. After 14 years of being locked up in a Saudi Arabian prison, and with a long stretch of that time spent on death row, Stephen Munyaho, who is popularly known as Steve-O, is finally back on Kenyan soil, and you can see him there in that embrace with his mother. Najua sama mother's love, however old you may be, mapenzi ya mama, wacha tu. Mishra fighting off organ trafficking charges there on the front pages. Uhuru Raila plot political survival ahead. I think that story tutaangalia tukifika kwa Taifa Leo. Kule ndani nafikiri kulikuwa na story moja nzuri. ODM stormy meeting. It features there. There was a stormy meeting as Raila set up team to review Ruto deal. Sifuna aliyekwa kwa kona jana. Kameanza kusema. Anyway. Back page, and we focus on Chan. 3 days to go. Harambe Stars firepower stepping up the plate. Coach McCarthy has been forced to rejig following unavailability of the top league's top 2 scorers. They're still focusing on Harambe Stars, who will play their first game against DRC at the Kasarani on Sunday. Yes, the games kick off this Saturday. The opening ceremony will be in Tanzania. That's the Daily Nation.
All right. Let's take a look at the Standard now. Mortgaging Kenyans is the headline here on the front page of this newspaper. Auction future. As President William Ruto's government rolls out a controversial securitization model to fast-track infrastructure, experts warn it is a financial time bomb, borrowing against future taxes, bypassing parliament and risking constitutional breach. Now, critics call it reckless, opaque and tantamount to mortgaging Kenya's future for short-term political optics.
You know what they've done? Mafuta pesa ilipanda. Out of that, there's a fuel levy of 7 shillings. Iliongezwa pale. Sasa hiyo 7 shillings wameweka kama sasa hiyo ndo collateral. Wakachukua loan ya 44 billion shillings ya kujenga Talanta Stadium. Ndindi Nyoro akaongea akasema hapa hii si vizuri, akafutwa kazi. Alitolewa kwa Budget and Appropriations Committee jana. Sababu alisema hiyo.
This is economic sabotage. Says one of former Treasury insider. You don't tax citizens today just to gamble with their tomorrow. Experts are wondering in whose interests are government officials deploying these schemes. Mortgaging Kenyans. Really inapandishwa pale, kumbe they're using it to build something else. This story is on page 4. Can take a look at it. Stark numbers are here. Kenya's public debt has surged to 11.51 trillion shillings. That is 67% of GDP, bridging legal thresholds and drawing sharp criticism over the government's aggressive use of debt securitization to raise funds. And plans such as 175 billion shillings fuel levy bond and a 44.7 billion shillings stadium bond have sparked concerns that the government is bypassing constitutional safeguards. On the top strip, teachers to face murder charge after a boy 14 years old was killed and hanged in cover-up. 2 teachers. Very sad story. Very sad. 2 teachers are now facing criminal charges after Kericho court ruled they staged a suicide to cover up the savage beating of Enoch Kipkoech The Standard 8 pupil was found hanging in a school bathroom. On the inside pages, joy tears as Estivo reunites with family after death row reprieve. Man jailed 20 years for killing his wife during drunken quarrel. Government's use of taxes as collateral could sink the country. That story on the front page. This one here. Journalist presents video photos in Rex Masai case. A photojournalist testified yesterday on this case. And on the back page of the Standard, 2024 Chan, is it 3 days?
3 days to go,
3 days.
Starting on Saturday.
August 2nd to August 30th. Daniel Sakari, we can't miss our own party. Harambe Stars defender says the nation team should be on the podium in their home tournament, and Kenya will host the tournament final on August 30th at Kasarani Stadium. That's the Standard.
Right. Taifa Leo, nazungumzia ma-dynasty. Wanang'ang'ania ufalme. Dynasty ni kina nani? According to this paper, the Kenyatas, Mois and Odingas. We have their fathers and the sons. So mamlaka yaonekana kuanza kuzipokonya familia za kifalme za Kenyatta, Odinga na Moi. Wamefika ukingoni. Ushawishi wa kizazi cha Moi umedidimia zaidi, huku wa Kenyatta na Odinga ukishika mkondo wa kuyumbayumba. Nakumbuka before in the lead to the 2022 elections, debate ya dynasty versus hustler ilikuwa kubwa sana. Anazungumzia hapa, so anasema Odinga ni dynasty, Moi na Kenyatta. Marufuku kwa vibarua wa kigeni Tanzania. Pia hii imepewa kipaumbele kwenye gazeti hili kwa ukurasa wa mbele, na tunasema kama hapa Kenya wataamua kufanya vile Tanzania wamefanya, you can imagine how many foreigners, especially from Rwanda and Burundi, working in Kenya as hawkers, as barbers, as saloonists.
Yeah.
Yes?
Caretakers.
Na hizo ndio shida pale.
Yeah.
Vidokezo zaidi kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili wanasema Mpox, hofu Mombasa ikiongoza, kuna visa 4 vipya vimegunduliwa huku watu 23 wakilazwa. Na Kilifi na Meru za shuhudia ukuaji mkuu. Kaunti hizo pamoja na Elgeyo Marakwet zaongoza. Na ukumbuke kuna Devolution Conference coming up. Devolution Conference 2025 will be hosted in Homa Bay. I think from 12th of August. Maswala ya county naendelea. Pale juu pesa shule za fungwa mapema, nyingi zalalamika kuishiwa hela baada ya serikali kupunguza mgao. Na maswala ya chana pigo kwa Harambe Stars, mvamizi tegemeo Bajaber aondoka kusini akielekea Tanzania. Gazeti la Taifa Leo.
The Star senators want real-time access to counties' money records. Governors under pressure to open up county accounts. Na tukiangalia ndani tujue hii story inasema vipi. It has been covered on page 4 and 5. Let's take a look at it. Now, it says the war on corruption in county governments has intensified, with senators now demanding access to automated financial records from the National Treasury. And the move comes amid a surge in graft allegations in the devolved units, with several governors under investigation by the EACC and others already battling court cases. Now, in a move that could expose financial malpractice and potentially trigger a standoff between lawmakers and governors, the Senate is pushing for real-time access to the Integrated Financial Management Information System, that is IFMIS. Right. Sifuna cornered as Raila and top guns rally behind Ruto. Na wakamweka tena address aseme we are in support of the broad-based.
He is a spokesperson of the party. But the irony that he's the one who has to read out the statement from the Central Committee. Wale anakaa anacheka lakini nasikia mkutano yuko ya kucheka. Huko na kicheko kule ndani.
Hata yeye mwenyewe ndani akitembea tu hapa nje I'm sure haipendezi.
There was a lot of banging of tables. So I hear.
Mother's 14-year fight brings son home from Saudi Arabia death row. Sudan condemns Kenya as RSF names parallel government. And Sudan has yet again condemned what it terms the approval and facilitation by Kenya of meetings held by the rebel Rapid Support Forces in Nairobi, which have culminated in the announcement of a parallel government. We talked about this.
We've been talking about this. Yes. Issues around Kenya's diplomacy. Lakini nafikiri hapa kuna kazi. Sasa unaona Tanzania wanaleta maneno mengine. Sudan wameleta shida.
Reprieve for Naivasha MP as court defers plea taking. That is Jane Kihara. She was arrested sometime last week. Was it last week? Last week. That's the Star, fresh, independent and different. Grab a copy at 60 Kenyan shillings.
And we can just say that I think the work is cut out for the CS in charge of foreign affairs, Musalia Mudavadi. He needs to be fighting on very many different fronts. Cross-border with Tanzania, protectionist moves, will we do the same here? Kule Sudan, wameambiwa, nyinyi ndio mnaleta parallel government huku kwetu. People Daily, different story altogether. Why it is a make or break for IEBC. Agencies required to conduct by-elections, register, audit roll, educate voters, and procure equipment for polls all in 2 years. And I may add another, review boundaries. Kama wataweza. That story is on page 4. Enye kazi wako nayo ni nyingi, but they have exactly 2 years between now and election day, 2027. That photo that features on other front pages there of this happy parent and son who are reunited yesterday still makes it to the front page of the People Daily. The reward for a mother's love, resilience, hope and prayer, and she never gave up. I remember when she came to TV47 just looking for help from media to actually highlight the story, and I met her. And back then, because it was almost like a year ago, it looked like a gone case, but she managed to get him back. Wow. A mother's love. Happy for them. The new media code of conduct is a loaded travesty. They've done a commentary inside wakiangalia the new media code of conduct, but according to this person who's written this comment, anasema hii kuna shida. Hii ni kama tumerudi nyuma, tunaenda kwa zile enzi za kitambo.
Kama being gagged.
Okay. Ni kama tunakuwa gagged. Hivyo ndo anasema yeye. Pale juu, everything you need to know about Mpox, and the People Daily have done justice on page 3 of this paper. They've broken down everything you need to know about Mpox, because watu wengi hawajui na hawaelewi. Kuna picha pale lakini hazikae vizuri. Yeah. So ukitaka, if you want to know more, just go to page 2 of the People Daily. You'll get that story.
Business Daily, banks to lend at same loan base rate in CBK's U-turn, and the CBK has retreated from its plan to control lending rates using its benchmark rate, handing a victory to commercial lenders who preferred to use the interest charged on short-term loans between banks to determine borrowing costs. And official correspondence between the CBK and commercial banks show that the banking sector regulator has made a U-turn and abandoned its earlier proposal that lenders use CBK as the base for pricing loans. Kenya leaders protest as Tanzania bans foreign businesses, and Kenyan lawmakers and businesses leaders in East Africa are protesting the latest roadblock erected by Tanzania barring foreigners from accessing its market for farm produce and setting up small businesses in a bid to shield local companies. That story has been covered on page 3. And who are these lawmakers who are protesting?
Kenyan MPs generally, because you see now they have to answer back Tanzania.
Yeah.
Huwezi fungia border na kuna EAC.
Lakini sasa wata take back whatever they said about foreign businesses, really.
No, it's now a directive in Tanzania. There's nothing much you can do. Now the only thing that Kenya can do is probably put similar measures in Kenya that no Tanzanian can come here and do.
Tit for tat.
Yeah, tit for tat. Unakumbuka ile vita tariff barriers, zile tariffs Trump was imposing on China and other countries.
Yeah.
The only way to do it is to do the same on your end. Yeah.
On the ticker carrier unlocks 86.5 billion shillings from disputes with firms and individuals. Leapfrog exits Good Life Pharmacy after 9 years. Why Kenyans still favor investing in SACCOs and banks. They say familiarity has seen Kenyans continue to favor investing through traditional vehicles such as SACCOs and commercial banks. A new survey shows, lakini experts wanasemanga, MMF is the best way to go in terms of investment.
All right, so those are the dailies, and it's exactly 23 minutes past the hour. Tuangalie Karakacha wanasema nini. Lakini just before that, a reminder that at 6:30, starting 6:30 and heading all the way to 8 a.m., we'll be having these three gentlemen in studio. Senator John Yoto of Murang'a, Njiru Wambugu is a former MP in Nyeri Town, and Wakili Ishmael Nyaribo. They'll be in studio helping us break down these big headlines today. ODM, big headline. What Tanzania has done, big headline. The debt issue is also a big headline today. Tujue cartoonists wanasema nini sasa? Wamechora nani?